Welcome back to the Flying with the Flock podcast, the best place you could offer your Eagles and other NFL related news. I'm your host, Matt. And ladies and gentlemen, we are still only a couple weeks out from the NFL draft, which means that the NFL media is kind of out of stories. But we'll get to what I mean by that in a second. Before we jump into this episode, if y'all could leave a like and subscribe down below, that would be much appreciated. Your support is never unnoticed on this channel, since we are such a small channel, and I always appreciate when y'all can just show and spread the love a little bit. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit more serious in the first half, so if you do not want to hear me sound like a sailor for a segment, you're going to have to skip like 15 minutes into this episode. After that segment, then we'll be going through my tier list of the top 32 NFL quarterbacks. And so, yeah, let's jump right into it. Like I said, if you don't want to hear me curse, skip in like 15 minutes into the episode, and I'll see you guys right around there. Anyway, jumping on to this topic. So, there was an ESPN article which came out, what was it, April 1st, I believe, written by Jeremy Fowler and Tim McManus. And it was about Jalen Hurts and how inside sources inside the Eagles organization were upset with Hurts due to his unwillingness to change his play style and also his unwillingness to play under center, and the amount of play audibles and play calls he makes from the line of scrimmage once he reads the defense, and basically turning the Eagles 2024 offense into the Eagles 2025 offense. Okay. So after that, a bunch of people in the media decided to come out and pile drive into him. Here are some of the few names. We have Chase Daniel, Emmanuel Acho, Kurt Benkirk, and a last guy who literally just played, but I don't know his name at all, Brendan Falco, I think. He's Hawaiian, so I'm going to get that name wrong. I do apologize. So, here's the list. Jeremy Fowler, Tim McManus, the four that I just mentioned, Stephen A. Smith, Pat McAfee, Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, and a lot of the other major media faces at Fox Sports, mainly ESPN, but Fox Sports as well, that decided to take this article and run with it. Because, we're a couple weeks out from the draft, and although we have many other sports in their playoffs, or getting ready for the playoffs, the NBA playoffs are coming, the NHL playoffs are coming, the Open, the Masters is coming. We have a couple tennis opens coming up. And then, what else do we have? Oh, and the baseball season just started. Even though I just listed all those major sporting events, for some reason, we have to fucking talk about Jalen Hurts. Because, there's not like the NFL draft coming up at all. There's not a bunch of different workouts that a bunch of different prospects are doing that make themselves look good. We have to fucking talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and something negative about the Eagles. Now, me personally, I am in the sports media program at my college, so I understand the ins and outs of the industry. So let me explain why they're talking about Philadelphia more than a lot of other places. So, there are three major markets in sports media. First one being New York. Second one being Los Angeles. Third one being Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia, in the past, since 2020, has drawn in a lot of views and a lot of clicks online, which is what sports media places like ESPN and Fox Sports are looking for. Taking a look at it, the day before Jeremy Fowler released his quote-unquote inside sources article, He also posted another clickbait article talking about Vrabel doesn't dismiss A.J. Brown trade talk, which is the Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. That was one day before. Now, they had used up that entire storyline so much and for so long that only got 23,000 interactions. His new article, which came out less than 24 hours later on Jalen Hurts, got 6.6 million. So because the Philadelphia market is so big, and they were so tired of one story, they decided to create another story. And they also try to say things in this article. They are quite contradictory. And if you want a serious breakdown where it's removed from an Eagles biased fan standpoint, I would go check out That's Good Sports. They covered that. They covered the entire topic yesterday in a video, and they broke it down perfectly. And they're gonna say a lot of the same stuff that I'm saying right now. So here we go. This is complete bullshit. The article itself does not name names as the sources, which means that they are made up or ex-disgruntled Eagles coaches a la Kevin Patullo. It is clear that in the article itself that Jeremy Fowler says that Jalen Hurts was the player that called up the 4 verticals as the last play in the Eagles' wild card loss against the 49ers. But I know that's bullshit for a fact, because you can see Jalen Hurts' lips not moving at all. He did not make a change at the line of scrimmage, and it was Kevin Patullo who was the one that was calling the play, and Sirianni and Hurts both reacted negatively when they were over on the sideline talking to him. So that's bullshit number one, is that they are trying to blame Hurts for the playoff loss. Bullshit number one, okay? Just keep this in track. 1. 2, they were trying to say that Jalen Hurts is unwilling to change his game, which is factually incorrect. If we see what he's been able to do as a quarterback, especially in the seasons when he went to the Super Bowl, he changed up his game. Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore, 2 offensive wizards over the past half a decade, came in, took an Eagles offense from shotgun to half in shotgun, half under center. So they forced Hurts to change, and Hurts changed, and 2022, he had an MVP season, and semi-MVP season, and in 2024, he won the Super Bowl, okay? So he was willing to change in both those times. So that was clearly the offense that Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni set up. So that's bullshit number 2. Number 3, we have people like Colin Cowherd coming out here and saying that they overpaid Hurts for the $255 million. And they have not rewarded any other player. That's bullshit. Let's jump deep into this. After Barkley was a free agent, after he had the Super Bowl run and after he had his amazing season, broke records and should have broken the all-time. No, he did break the all-time rushing record. Barkley became the highest running back in the NFL as a reward, not even a free agent. Landon Dickerson became the highest guard despite extensive injury history. Juergens became the highest paid center despite being able to barely walk this past season and in 2024. Mailata is a top 4 highest paid offensive tackle. A.J. Brown was made the highest paid wide receiver in history. Devontae Smith is a top 4 paid wide receiver. Zach Bond is a top 3 paid linebacker. So, not only is it a weird obsession that some of these people have with Hurts, their argument is totally factually fucked up in the sense that they believe that Hurts is taking all the money away from all his players and then is not going to get paid again because he has not performed up to what his money has said. The Eagles pay their players ahead of time before the market rises. We see this time in and time out. That they did it before Lamar Jackson got his deal. They paid Jalen Hurts. And Lamar Jackson got paid 10 times more than Jalen Hurts, and he hasn't even gotten his team to a Super Bowl yet. Yes, he has 2 MVPs. Good job. Individual awards do not matter in a game that is about a team. Yes, it's cool to have an MVP on your team, but it doesn't mean shit if you do not hoist the Lombardi that season. And so that's number 3. Number 4. A lot of these quote-unquote inside sources that do not want to be named by Jeremy Fowler are, I believe, ex-disgruntled quarterbacks. Or not quarterbacks. Ex-disgruntled, whatever such, coaches on the coaching staff. Kevin Petula, first name, and I guarantee you, if it ever comes out in the next 10 years, who was the disgruntled person inside the Eagles organization who spoke out, it was Kevin Petula before he got fired. And so it leads to a bunch of nobodies to come out and create a Jalen Hurts hate club. So let's go over this. Fat Slob, Chase Daniel, who's now in the NFL media, his last regular season game was the only time he got any form of starts, and that was in 2022. Does anyone want to guess his stat line? No. In 2022, he threw for 52 yards, 1 touchdown, and had a QBR of 59.9, which is complete dog shit. So the fat slob that's now in NFL media can go fuck himself. Emmanuel Ocho, a career backup linebacker, was bad in the NFL, can go fuck himself. Kurt Benkert, career backup in the NFL, quarterback, doesn't know really anything about a good offensive system, can go fuck himself. This other fat fuck who decided to jump on the NFL media can go fuck himself. The Hawaiian guy, I don't really care. These are horrible. These are not guys that know how to win. Jeremy Fowler and Tim McManus, 2 guys who were losing engagement in one of the biggest marketplaces, can go fuck themselves. ESPN can go fuck themselves. Fox Sports can go fuck themselves because they're not doing the background checks. And this is what happens in sports media as a whole. When we start giving too much money to big names instead of hiring a bunch of quality journalists that can actually go in and dig into what's happening, we get guys who just get made up stories by other top paid guys and just run with it and act like it's real. It's been bullshit then, it's bullshit now, and it forever will be bullshit. But I will say, I do believe that this whatever this is, this attack on Jalen Hurts and his character, will bring back a pissed off Jalen Hurts. And if he comes out here and he lets it rip, and he nearly has an MVP season, the NFL, and he goes out and he wins another Super Bowl, this media is fucked. Like, genuinely. They will have zero ground to stand on again. If he just goes out and slings it and looks amazing under Mannion, and he plays under center under Mannion, and a bunch of different guys around him get paid, then they're going to be fucked. End of story. And so that's it for my rant here. I had to get that out because that's been stewing for a couple of days. Please go watch Brandon Perna on the That's Good Sports channel on YouTube break that down, because he did an amazing job doing it. This is such unwarranted slander, and it's a character attack. You don't see that. I don't like to take it these places, but I'm going to have to for this kind of situation. You don't see Josh Allen getting this kind of criticism. You don't see Joe Burrow getting this kind of criticism. It's their teams that are letting them down. But when it's Jalen Hurts, oh no, it's Jalen Hurts holding back his team. Or sometimes it's his team that are making Jalen Hurts look better. So everybody who criticizes him can go fuck himself. Right now, I am wearing a Jalen Hurts Super Bowl jersey. Okay? This is the one that he won a Super Bowl MVP in. Got it? I hope we're all on the same page here, because I will not accept any Jalen Hurts slander moving on, and I will be review bombing a lot of these different smaller shows that are talking about it. So, I hope you all join me in that crusade, but that's ran over. We're going to jump into the tier list here. And, not naming people is such a pussy move. And we have, insiders like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport coming out and saying, personally, they would not, really buy into this too much because there's no name behind it. What's his face? Brandon Fowler is known for getting creative and trying to make stuff up. They're cornered right now, and so they have to make something up at this point to make Jalen Hurts look bad. So until they get out of the NFL media spotlight, we're going to have to deal with stories like that, but I'm going to continue to attack these guys. So please boost this video online, put it anywhere that you can, and tell people to listen. Because I got the facts now. I waited a couple of days to get the facts. I gave you all the facts. Help me spread this message to other people. Okay, so we're going to hop into this NFL tier list. We're going with NFL quarterbacks for the 2026 and 2027 season. Taking a look at it, we have 1 through 5, which is elite. 6 through 10, which is a superstar. 11 through 6, which is a star. Average starters are 17 through 22. Fringe starters are 23 to 28. Bottom rung is 29 to 32. And backups are just anybody that I had that's left over. So starting out here, the first person on this list is Kyler Murray. And he could, at his best to me, Murray is an average starter. Now I'm going to put him and J.J. McCarthy. I'm going to put J.J. McCarthy in backups. I believe Kyler Murray is going to win this starting job pretty easily, especially based off of how J.J. McCarthy played last season. Focusing more on Murray, if he can continue to develop his game under Kevin O'Connell, bring back more scrambling in his game, and just bring in a little bit more accuracy with his deep ball. He has one of the best deep balls in the NFL. But if he can kind of hone that in and focus on that, I feel like he will take the next step forward as an NFL quarterback. J.J. McCarthy, I'm putting him back up. I don't think he's going to be starting this season unless things go really wrong with Kyler Murray. So in backups, J.J. McCarthy will stay. Next up, we have the old backup to Kyler Murray, that being Jacoby Brissett. And to me, Brissett, at his best, is an average starter. Brissett has bounced around the NFL for quite a few years. He got drafted to New England, went to Indianapolis, and started and had one of the best seasons. To me, Brissett is a guy that can be really solid. He's a pass-heavy, like he works in pass-heavy offenses. And I do feel like there is a chance that the Cardinals will draft a quarterback and have Brissett start this season. So as of right now, I'm going to keep Brissett in average starters, though he's going to be at like the bottom of average starters, right on the fringe. But we know what Brissett is. He's a solid quarterback. He's not like great. He's not going to get you into the playoffs, but he will not sink you either. Next up, we have Michael Penix. And Penix is going to be injured at the start of the season, so I'm going to put him at backup. I think that Penix is ultimately going to prove that he's probably not the guy in Atlanta. If he has a chance, to start for Atlanta at some point this season over Tua. But to me, I just feel like Michael Penix kind of needs to prove himself more. He was not that accurate last season, and in a season where he could have handed it off to Bijan Robinson 100 times during a game, he still found ways to lose. So, Michael Penix backup as of right now. Next up, we have Kirk Cousins. I'm going to put Kirk at the top of average starters. To me, Kirk Cousins, he just signed a large deal with Las Vegas with the Raiders to come in and be the starter ahead of Fernando Mendoza, who we'll talk about eventually. But to me, he's serviceable. He's a little bit more. He's better than Jacoby Brissett. Him and Jacoby Brissett are pretty similar in play style and such. But to me, I trust Kirk more than I trust Kyler right now. So he's at the top of average starters as a quarterback in the NFL. And I feel like he'll probably rebound after his Achilles injury, after another full season having played. Now we get into an interesting section where next up we have Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson is going to be, if I can click there, come on. Okay, Lamar Jackson to me is going to be probably 4. Yeah, he's going to be up in the elite tier. He's probably going to be 4th. And I'll talk about who's ahead of him. But to me, I just think that Lamar, he's a very dynamic player. 2 MVPs under his belt, which is quite impressive. And he's one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch. But he does not find a way to win. And so hopefully with defensive head coach Jesse Minter coming in and building a solid defense that can be locked down for Lamar, Lamar will find a way to step up this upcoming season and take advantage of that. But as of right now, based off of his past success in the playoffs and how many choke jobs he's had over the past couple of seasons, and he's also been injured as well, so that comes into the equation as well. I'm going to have to put Lamar Jackson probably at 4 in my top 5. Next up, we have Josh Allen. I'm going to put Josh Allen at number 2 in my top 5. I mean, Josh Allen, one of the most dynamic players, similar to Lamar in this category. He just can't find a way to win. And it's like somewhat unfortunate. You would hope that a guy like this would find a way to win and find a way to have a fairy tale story, but with a new head coach that's more offensive minded, he's going to try to find a way to take Josh Allen to the next level, which is kind of crazy, and try to keep him at an MVP level consistently moving forward. As long as their defense can shore up, I feel like Allen will have less pressure during games to set up, but he's had one of the best winning percentages since 2020 in the NFL. So he's number 2 on my list right now. At number 5, we have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to be right behind Lamar, and Lamar has had a little bit more success. Burrow doesn't have the accolades, and to me, over the past 2 seasons, he's kind of taken a dump off in his production. I would like to see a bit more out of Joe. Now, I'm not going to put him in like 6 to 10. I still feel like he's a top 5 quarterback in the league when healthy and when performing at his top. But there still needs to be a question of whether he can really get the job done like he could earlier in his career. So as of right now, I feel safe putting Joe Burrow at number 5 in my top 5. Next up, we have Joe Flacco, who's going back to the Bengals as a backup, so I'm going to put him in a backup. But if he starts, he could be an average starter. He could be up there with Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, and Jacoby Brissett. Shedeur Sanders, I'm going to put him at fringe starter. He's an interesting guy to me. He's on the top of the fringe starters, but I just don't know. I need to see another full season of him at quarterback before I can be 100% sold on Shedeur one way or the other. So that's why I'm going to put him at fringe starter. If he has a great season this season, maybe he can bump up into the teens. Or if he has a bad season, maybe he ends up being a backup himself. So we're going to have to wait and see. But to me, fringe starter right now is a safe choice for Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel, still a little bit too raw as a quarterback prospect. Obviously behind Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. I would like to see him develop in training camp a little bit more. So we'll have to wait and see. But Dylan Gabriel going to be in the backup slot here. But could have a solid career. We just got to wait and see. Bryce Young, I'm going to put him at like the top of fringe starter. He's either a fringe starter or an average starter. And as we go along, I'm going to have that kind of picked out more. But as of right now, based off his play, it has not been too impressive over the past couple of years. And I've been rooting for him. I want to see a good Carolina Panthers team headed by Bryce Young and his quarterback play. But until I see that, it's a little bit harder for me to bump him up any further than he is. Though he will sit at the top of fringe starters with Shedeur Sanders here. Next up, Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams is going into superstar. He's going into my top 10. Though he might be a little bit lower in my top 10, like 7 or 8. He is so somewhere in the middle, actually. But he's still a dynamic guy who can go out there, challenge NFL defenses, and make NFL defenses have to curtail around his mobile sort of play, him rolling out of the pocket, him running for a first down, which just opens up so many other angles that his head coach, Ben Johnson, can play with. But to me, Caleb Williams, superstar, could be, depending on the play of the top 5 that I have, and depending on the play of his own game, he could be elite next season. It just all depends on how everything shakes out. But as of right now, a safe middle area of superstar is where I think it's fair for him to be. Next up, this one's a little bit hard because I could be a little bit too biased against him, but I'm going to put him here anyway. I'm going to put him at the low part. I think I'm going to put him at 10, that being Dak Prescott. Prescott goes in and goes out, and as long as he stays healthy and his wide receivers stay healthy, he performs at a high level every season, as much as I don't want to give that to him. But we'll have to wait and see whether he can consistently do that, have the same numbers he did this past season, this upcoming season, especially with George Pickens returning on the franchise tag, and with Dallas improving the defense, hopefully, in the draft, because they did not sign anybody. So they're going to have to work with the same pieces they had last season, plus drafting a couple. We're going to have to see how Dak can kind of elevate his team. But that's one thing that he's always struggled with, especially in the playoffs, is elevating his team rather than his team elevating him. Next up, we have Bo Nix, and I'm going to put Bo Nix. He's right on the edge of superstar and star. I'm going to put him in star right now. I need to see him shore up a lot of his accuracy on deep balls and deep passes. But other than that, the style of offense that he runs under Sean Payton is quite potent when played with his own style. And so I definitely like where Bo Nix is. He had an amazing season this last season. I would like to see him fully recover and come back stronger this upcoming season in 2026. And once he does that, and if he has a amazing season, better than last season, then I will feel comfortable putting him in my top 10. But right now, he's going to be 11 or 12. Next up, we have Jared Goff. And to me, Jared Goff is a star, probably right behind Bo Nix, in my opinion. Jared Goff has been one of the better and more consistent quarterbacks since 2020, since getting traded, or 2021, since getting traded to the Lions. And the Lions kind of embodied Jared Goff, a team that was written off and now is having their own resurgence. Though, I will say this upcoming season will be a big test on whether Jared Goff will be the guy moving forward into the late 2020s and early 2030s, or whether the Lions will have to go up and draft a guy that Dan Campbell can start kind of coaching up. But till then, I think that Jared Goff is still a very consistent starter in this league. I would just be surprised if he elevates the team around him, especially in the playoffs. Next up, we have Jordan Love. Jordan Love is always tricky for me. He's either a star or a superstar. I'm going to put him at a star right behind Jared Goff and Bo Nix. Here's why. He has had moments where he can elevate the team around him due to his play. But he's also had games where he sells the team down the river with his play as well. And so to me, if Jordan Love can become more of a consistent quarterback, more like Aaron Rodgers, less like Brett Favre, I think this Packers team could be more potent. And with their defense getting healthy and coming back this upcoming season, I think that he could be an overall better quarterback that has less pressure to go out and score a ton of points, which is important for all these quarterbacks. But until I can put him ahead of a guy like a Bo Nix or a Jared Goff, he has to be able to level out his play and keep it consistent. But I will say, at his best, he is certainly better than an average starter like a Kirk Cousins. So we're going to put Jordan Love right behind Jared Goff and Bo Nix. Next up, we have a new starter in the league, and it's going to be hard to kind of tell, so I'm going to put him... I'm going to put him just in front of Bryce Young and fringe starters. I don't know whether Malik Willis can hold up a full season. I hope he does. I hope he can prove me wrong, but I need to see it from him first before I can crown him an average starter or even a star. He's going to get the green light down in Miami, and he's not going to have too many pieces to work with. So he's going to have to elevate everybody's play around him rather than others elevating him. So that's going to be a tricky one, seeing whether he's able to pull that off. But as of right now, I think that Malik Willis, starting for the Dolphins, will be at least a fringe starter, if not an average starter. And he'll be somewhere between 23 and 28. Next up, we got C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud, the more and more I look at it, he's become an average starter. He, to me, is behind Kirk Cousins and Kyler Murray because these guys have a little bit more of a veteran presence. They have a little bit more of a consistent quarterback play day in and day out, at least when Kyler's on the field. But C.J. Stroud, to me, just, although, look, what he's done has been amazing for the Texans franchise. Every single year that he's been in the NFL, he's gone to the playoffs at the very least. And I can appreciate that, and I can award that. But he needs to put his team in more of an advantageous position, winning more games in the regular season, and getting his team more of a head start, maybe even a bye into the into the playoffs. But until he can start elevating his team's play around him, I can't put him above guys like Kirk Cousins and Kyler Murray, who have proved that they can kind of facilitate plays out of nowhere on time to time. C.J. Stroud just needs to clean up his game a little bit, and maybe he can be up with some of the stars. Next up, we have Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, to me, is going to go ahead of Kyler Murray. Daniel Jones is kind of he's an average starter. I thought about putting him in star. I would need to see another season like he just had with the Colts again this upcoming season for me to put him any higher. So as of right now, I'm comfortable with keeping him with average starters. I think that he will have a solid case for earning a lot of money. Now, he just signed, a 2-year deal? It's like the biggest 2-year deal of all time. Him and Kirk Cousins, dude, they're both average starters, but they're bank robbers. They rob money from these NFL teams. But, yes, he's an average starter. He can facilitate plays every once in a while, but he's not going to elevate your team through the entire game. Anthony Richardson, he's going down here with the backups. He could have been an amazing quarterback if they had somebody to develop him, but he just never developed into that dynamic playmaker quarterback that everybody wanted. That next Michael Vick, a mobile guy with a giant arm. It could still happen. He requested a trade now. As of right now, according to Colts insiders, it doesn't seem like he's going to get traded because there's not much interest in his trade market. That might change once the season comes around, but as of right now, Anthony Richardson is a backup. Next up, we have Trevor Lawrence, and to me, Trevor Lawrence is going to go ahead of Dak Prescott in the superstar category here. Overall, I think Trevor Lawrence this past season kind of proved that he's a dynamic guy who can go out there and win you games, especially when games are tight and in overtime. Obviously, it wasn't the way that the Jaguars won the season in the end, and I think that's more the defense's fault, not Trevor Lawrence as much. But I would certainly like to see him take Travis Hunter off to the side and work him a little bit more as a wide receiver. And I just want to see him take one more step forward and win maybe a couple playoff games. But as of right now, Jaguars, solid team, and their quarterback is a superstar guy. I just need to see him take another step forward. Patrick Mahomes is going to go number one. As fun as it would be for me to debate whether Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson is number one, it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes has kind of proven that he's when healthy, he's the most dominant quarterback out there. Even if they don't have a good record, it's still a team that people fear because Patrick Mahomes can bring in and play with no-name guys and make them look like Tyreek Hills. or Amon-Ra St. Brown's. So he goes out there and he just elevates the team on his back, especially on the world's biggest stages. Next up, we have Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert is going to go in star, on the fringe of star and average starter. To me, he has done nothing. Besides his rookie season, he has done nothing to impress me. Everybody wants to put him up in, is he top 5? Is he top 10? Where does he rank in top 10? He's not even in my top 10. He's not even my top 15. He's 16. He has not earned the right to be a superstar. He barely earned the right to be a star. If he does not have a good season coming up, to me, he might drop down to average starter. But until I see this upcoming season, I'm going to do him the favor and keep him at star. Next up, we have Matthew Stafford, who's going to go at superstar right behind Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is a little bit more of that superstar dynamic player mold. Obviously, Matthew Stafford just won the MVP, also has a Super Bowl championship under his belt. I think is an amazing quarterback, amazing guy in general. But to me, Caleb Williams is just that little bit ahead of him right now based off of some of the play I saw from both of them late in the season. I just want to see Matthew Stafford go out again another year and have an MVP caliber season once again, and I could make a solid argument that he could be top 5. But as of right now, I think 7 is safe for Matthew Stafford. Geno Smith, he's going down at bottom rung. I know he had a shaky season in Seattle the season before, and he had one of the worst seasons in with the Raiders. Now, I'm not going to put him at the bottom of the bottom rung. He's not 32, but he's probably more like 30 than 29. So we're going to have to wait and see, but to me, he's still a bottom rung quarterback based off how bad his plays were this last season. Next up, Tua Tagovailoa, same thing, bottom rung. Was awful this past season, threw too many interceptions, and could not elevate his team around him. So to me, Tua Tagovailoa is bottom rung. He's probably like 31 or 30, but I would not get your hopes up for Tua Tagovailoa moving forward. Drake May. Drake May I'm going to put in superstar, and I'm going to put him at 10. I think that he was quite dynamic early in the season. He was a playmaker, and in this new offense, he was very good. Obviously, he made a case for MVP. It was just at the second half, the really back half of the season, week 15, until the AFC champion, or until the Super Bowl, he just had a horrific season, and I don't think we talk about that enough. He really fell off a cliff that late in the season once he started playing top-tier defenses. And to me, although he is like, you know what? No, I'm gonna flip the script here. I'm gonna put Bo Nix at number 10, Drake May at number 11. I think Bo Nix is more of a dynamic player than Drake May was, and Bo Nix played more playoff teams last season than Drake May ever did. So to me, Drake May, solid player. He's a star. I would like to see another season like he just had again, but that's going to be way tougher, especially looking at the opponents that they have in the 2026 season. Next up, Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough, to me, he was much better than I thought. He's going to go above Shedeur in fringe starter. He's going to be like 23. I need to see a full season out of him where he's confident in just passing the ball and letting it sling in Kellen Moore's offense. I think that he will probably have a better season coming up, and this will be the real litmus test to see whether he's the Saints' future quarterback or whether he is just some guy that's playing quarterback for the Saints until they can find their guy in the draft. But as of right now, I feel comfortable putting Tyler Shough behind Jacoby Brissett in fringe starter. Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, to me, that's going to be rough. A lot of people will put him in star. I'm putting him in fringe starter as well. I'm going to put him just behind Shedeur. Jackson Dart needs to take care of his health this season. but that's the most important thing that I would like to see out of him. He has the possibility to be one of the most dynamic playmakers I've seen in a while. But until he does that, he has to prove to me that he can play consistently and can elevate guys. Because they lost a couple guys in the wide receiver room. Yes, they're bringing in a guy like John Harbaugh, a coach, to help develop him. But I need to see Jackson Dart take a tiny step forward. Nothing crazy, but take a tiny step forward in his game for me to consider him any higher than 25. Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson are going to go into backups. Jameis has the best chance to be a fringe starter or average starter. Russ is cooked. End of story. Justin Fields going into backup. I think he's going to be he's going to back up Geno Smith in New York this upcoming season. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is my third best quarterback. Jalen Hurts, dynamic guy. He has more proven success than Josh Allen, who's ahead of them. I just think Josh Allen is a little bit more of a dynamic quarterback than Jalen Hurts, and he's definitely had more success than Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts is a winner, and he goes out, he'll win you the game, and he won't really throw an interception that's going to hurt. He will elevate a lot of players around him, and a lot of guys will rally behind him because he's such an amazing leader. And so to me, he's better than Lamar Jackson, and he's better than Joe Burrow. And to me, Jalen Hurts is the third best quarterback. If you asked me last offseason, I might have said he's the second best. But as of right now, he's the third best quarterback in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is tricky. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. To me, Rodgers is going to go into average starter, right behind, actually at the top of average starter, right ahead of Kirk Cousins. I just feel like he is starting to drop off. We don't know whether he's going to return or not. I think he's going to return for one more season with the Steelers, but if he doesn't, then we'll fill this in with whoever is their starting quarterback, whether it's Ty Simpson or they trade for someone. But Aaron Rodgers, starting quarterback, I think he's at least an average starter. We have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a star. And we're going to make another change here. Sam Darnold is going to go ahead of Dak Prescott. And Bo Nix is going to bump down to star. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry, I'm counting out loud to make sure everything's actually set. So you'll see Bo Nix is back down at 11. And Dak Prescott is now at 10 again. Sam Darnold is not as dynamic as a guy like Trevor Lawrence, but he's able to elevate his team and make less mistakes than Dak Prescott, to the point that he just won the Super Bowl. He's a top 10 quarterback in my eyes. He's not as a dynamic playmaker as a guy like Caleb Williams or the top 5, but he won't lose you games, and he will elevate the team around him from time to time. Brock Purdy. So I'm going to have to move Jacoby Brissett down to fringe starter. I'm going to put Brock Purdy at 17 at average starter. I just think that he is possibly a star. There's probably one or two other guys that I would put ahead of him. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. There's a couple guys I would have put ahead of him, in my opinion, that fit into the star category better than Purdy does. I do feel like the system and the team that he has around him kind of elevates him, but he does what he's supposed to. He's not supposed to be some dynamic playmaker all the time. He's supposed to be just a serviceable quarterback. I'm not going to say system quarterback because the system should fit the quarterback. So to me, average starter is a solid spot for Brock Purdy. We have Mac Jones, who's going to be a backup. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is going to be put in the star, which is at the bottom of the star, which is going to drop Justin Herbert down to average starter and drop C.J. Stroud down to fringe starter, which is interesting. Okay. and that's going to drop Bryce Young down to bottom rung. Actually, I'm going to veto. I'm going to say Bryce Young is up at fringe starter. Jackson Dart's down at bottom rung. So yeah, Baker Mayfield going in at number 16. He's a star. He can elevate the team around him. But when he's bad, the team's really bad. And so we got to take that into our minds. And we just have to realize that, yes, he could be an average starter, but to me, he kind of elevates teams more than a guy like Justin Herbert or Brock Purdy can as an average starter, but not as much as a guy like Jordan Love. These two are kind of similar in the sense that they will hurt their team a lot by throwing interceptions or having turnovers. I would just like to see them both clean up their game and just have a solid season in 2026, and maybe he can be higher. Let's see, Cam Ward. Cam Ward is going to be at the bottom of average starter, which is going to push Kyler Murray down to fringe starter, Bryce Young down to bottom rung. 20, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yeah, so Cam Ward, bottom of average starter. I think that he could, if he develops correctly under Brian Daboll, I think that he can be a star. But I need to see him have a consistent season this upcoming season, not to throw too many interceptions, and just slowly start to develop here. I would like to see him be a little bit more poised in the pocket, not have to scramble out as early, and that's on the offensive line as well as his confidence. So we're going to have to wait and see. But Cam Ward, I feel comfortable putting him at the bottom of average starters at 22. And the last real starter we have is Jayden Daniels. Let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He's going to be at the bottom of star. He's going to be number 16. I know what he can be when he's healthy. Last season, he was derailed. I would hope that this upcoming offseason, he can kind of rebound a little bit and have a better and more healthy season. I think that would be better for the NFL as a whole. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see him struggle a little bit, but I still think that when healthy, he can be a star that can elevate his team from time to time. But his Super Bowl window is coming to a close quick here, so we're going to have to wait and see whether he can elevate his team to that point. And at the end here for backups, we have Marcus Mariota. And then we have a couple guys who are going to be in the draft. We have Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and then there's Dante Moore, who's not going to be in the draft this year. But I'm going to put him in backup as well. Those three guys that the two guys that are in the draft this year and the one guy that will be in the draft next year will certainly be backups wherever they go. I don't foresee them starting immediately. I mean, the Raiders just brought in Kirk to start, so Fernando can have some time to develop. But we'll wait and see how long it is until he hits the actual NFL field. Okay, so that should be it for this NFL podcast episode. I do apologize for the profanity at the beginning of the episode. I just need to get that off my chest. And right now, sometime around now, the picture of my tier list is up here. You will see the tiers of 1 through 32, all the starting quarterbacks that I think are best to worst. Let me know if there's anything that kind of surprised you. Comment down below. Tell me if you guys would do anything different with some of your quarterback standings. And so that's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank you guys again for listening. Again, I'm going to apologize once again for that earlier rant in the episode. Obviously, if you need to skip through it, you are more than welcome to do that. I'm never going to be upset if you need to skip through something, but yeah, so that's it. And I want to hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I will catch you guys next week with my NFL mock draft. Who do I have going where in the first round? We'll find all that out next week on the Flying with the Flock podcast. So that's it. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, go Birds.